We are going live. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in for this mindful moment brought to you from Daunting Energy. We meet 3 times a day, 9 o'clock, 12:30, and 7:30, having a moment of mindfulness in this particularly chaotic times. Each class is going to consist of a brief introduction and review, a topic of discussion, and then a guided meditation. Then we end each class with a koan, which is a Zen riddle to send us on our way. Each session we start by setting an intention, and an intention is a dedication or practice, and setting a purpose to the practice essentially, and it can be a mantra or intention, an idea, a concept. And we seal in this intention by taking a deep breath in, breath out. And next, I also like to begin each class with this valuable reminder: the real meditation is how you live your life. I think that's a very valuable reminder on and off the mat. Lovely. And now to review our koan from yesterday, the well-known koan Joshu's Moo. A monk asked Joshu, "Has the dog a Buddha nature?" Joshu answered, "Moo." So, from a Buddhist perspective, all sentient creatures, especially a dog or an animal of like a happy temperament, would be said to have the Buddha nature. I mean, really all sentient creatures. So for Joshu, a Zen master, to answer "Moo," which translates to no or nothing, it's kind of a jarring response and not what would be expected from a teacher and pupil relationship. So another version of this is, how does a dog have the Buddha nature? By pushing him off a cliff. And again, these aren't meant to be taken quite literally. These are meant to have a little bit of wit and humor to them. And there's multiple levels to this koan, and I think one of the important levels of this koan is letting go of authority. Joshu, a Zen master, answering this way was testing him and applying his first lesson to the young monk about listening to authority simply for authority's sake. So don't take things at superficial value. I think that's a very, very valuable lesson. Furthermore, though, Moo, which translates to no or nothingness, is a key teaching in Buddhist principles. To fully understand life, we must understand nothingness. The idea is perhaps that there is no has or has not. The dog does or does not have Buddha nature. All things, all of conditioned existence, have this element of Moo, of nothingness. So even if we are to ask whether an object is real, or we're not really asking a question of substance, reality, nothingness, internal, external conceptions, haves and have-nots, are all ultimately illusionary and all united under a deeper nature. That's my personal interpretation of this koan. I would love to hear your interpretations or anything you may have derived from them as well. And now I'd like to discuss our working definition of mindfulness. Mindfulness is a combination of awareness, equanimity, and concentration. Awareness is the recognition of existence. Equanimity is the unconditional acceptance of what is now. And concentration is the intention to keep in the mind's attention the cultivation of awareness and equanimity. Lovely. So for today's class, thank you everyone for tuning in. I see a bunch of viewers, I really appreciate it. Today's session, we're going to be talking about shaking and dancing. So this is active meditation, this is interpretive movement. I derived most of the information from this book right here, The Transformation, Discovering Wholeness and Trauma and Healing After Trauma by James S. Gordon. Phenomenal book, great roadmap for dealing with pain and processing trauma and stress and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get right into it. Movement and its effects. So a movement in a textbook definition is a change in place or position. I like that nice broad definition. Now all this research is taken from that book I previously referenced, but it melts our frozen bodies. It releases emotions. It raises our energy. This is all things that movement does. It lifts troubles of the mind. It can increase neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. It creates new neurons in the hippocampus, as well as contributing towards a decrease in anxiety. It increases towards greater resilience, better mood, relief and protection against depression, improved sleep, memory, and a greater capacity for focus. So these are all things that movement has been found to contribute towards, and in a scholarly setting, through research base. We see in order to move. We move in order to see. William Gibson, who's an American-Canadian speculative writer, and widely credited with pioneering the science fiction subgenre known as cyberpunk. So movement versus exercise. I just want to quickly make that delineation. Exercise is controlled and goal-oriented. As someone who loves exercise, I think having goals is one of the key points of exercise, and does kind of make it necessarily different from, we'll say, what we're talking about in this front, which is just movement, which may be controlled at first, but expressive meditation becomes spontaneous and liberating. It's not meant to be controlled. So I think it's just valuable to kind of highlight that briefly. Consciousness is only possible through change. Change is only possible through movement. Aldous Huxley, English writer and philosopher, writer of Brave New World. So what is shaking? Well, first, stress and trauma actually stores in our body. A really good indicator of this might be weakness, stiffness, or inability to act or feel. So shaking is the first things we do. The first things a lot of animals do when they're shaking free from a predator, or they get out of the water, or all that kind of stuff. They're shaking free the fear paralysis. We have the fight, flight, freeze response. This is kind of a response to the freeze response. It's also a form of expressive meditation, and one of the oldest ones on our planet. Our ancestors danced, whirled, jumped when something happened. It was one of the easiest and most effective ways to communicate, whether something good, something bad, whatever it was, we shook it up. It's highly likely to have similar effects to walking and walking, jogging, and yoga. So, though the research hasn't been done exactly whether the therapeutic effects of shaking, it's likely to have very similar ones to walking, jogging, and yoga. Tibetan monks do it. Sufis in Persia and Turkey, they do their whirling dance. In modern therapeutic techniques, Gestalt and bioenergetics, those are two modern therapeutic techniques. They involve shaking, beating, rocking, all that kind of stuff. And then another way to also view it is archaic techniques of ecstasy. So just that raw expression of joy in any way, shape, or form can be seen as a form of shaking. I move, therefore I am. Harakumi Murakami, a very prolific Japanese author. I love his take on that. It's the kind of I think, therefore I am. I move, therefore I am. Love it. And last but not least, dance. Everyone can dance. I know sometimes you hear that people can't dance or they think that they can't dance, but to me, and I encourage us all to adopt this perspective, it's like a face or a fingerprint. It's something unique to you. There's no denying it. It can express buried feelings. And Nobel Prize winner Iya Pagone, she has made a statement that tension-breaking expressive meditations like shaking and dancing perturb disturbances in the physical and chemical systems, bringing about creative change. Often a new, more highly integrated order. So this is to say, like, even in a scientific and physical, chemical, in the systems of our body and the systems of molecules around us, what they have found that shaking and expressing perturbs, or I like to think of it as like disturbs, a particular system. And when we do disturb this system, when we shake up the system, oftentimes when it comes back together, it comes back in a new, more highly integrated order. So a little bit of the value of shaking it out and dancing it out. Dance when you're broken open. Dance if you've torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free. Is Rumi, 3rd century Persian poet, scholar, theologian, united a whole region just kind of under the essence of compassion. So great. So now we'll be getting into our guided practice for today, and it's going to consist of 3 phases. The first phase is going to be shaking, second phase is stillness, and then the third phase, dancing. So for shaking, it's a pretty simple thing. You kind of start at your bottom, start at your feet, and you shake, just kind of shake however feels natural to you, and you just allow that shake to kind of travel up your body. Shake out your knees, your hips, your torso, chest, arms, legs, neck, and I'm going to kind of prompt you as it, but when we're shaking, it's a full body thing, okay? And when you shake, I encourage you to do so with your eyes closed, because I think that really kind of brings you into the meditation and the essence of it all. So that being said, no more further ado, let's get into shaking. So I've got a little bit of a soundtrack to make the shaking perhaps a little bit more enjoyable. Good. And just close your eyes. Shake it out. Starting at the bottom. Slowly making your way up. Just trying to be as loose as possible. Shaking it out. There's no wrong ways to shake. No right ways to shake. You can't shake better than your neighbor can't shake better than you. Just really letting it all go. Trying to get the movement in the joints and the muscles and the ligaments from your feet, legs, hips, torso. Just let the shoulders go. Really shake it out. Shake it. Let go of any tension in the jaw. Shake out the face. Being careful here, but still shaking it out. Shake it all away. You know how to shake. Shaked your whole life. As natural to you as walking. Simply shaking the energy, feel it move throughout us. Starting to really feel the shake now. We're going for 4 minutes, we're maybe halfway, maybe. We're working here too. This is an active expression. You're doing it right. You're shaking exactly the way you were meant to shake. What a great shaker you are. And shake. Good. Oh yeah. Now it's starting to feel like a workout, right? I thought you said this was an exercise. Good. And we're shaking. Shake, 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 shake. No wrong way to shake. I see you there. You're thinking about shaking. You stop shaking. Keep shaking. We're shaking all the way. Around the world. We're shaking all the way around the world, guys. Girls. Folks. Shake it all up. No right way to shake, no wrong way to shake. We're just shaking with our whole bodies. Maybe keeping our eyes closed if it helps. Keeping our balance, being safe, but shaking it all out. Good. Perfect. Just another minute of shaking. Don't stop. Shake like you've never shaken before. Good. Keep it shook. Good. Now, slowly settle. Stillness. Just noticing what stillness feels like, you know. Tuning in to any sensations in the body. In your awareness of the room around you. Really tuning into however you may feel. Perhaps just noticing stillness. Lovely. And finally, the next part of our activity is to dance. If you want to close your eyes again, it's probably a great idea. And we're just dancing, however you feel like dancing. This is your personal form of expressing. We're taking all those feelings that we just shook out, just let them go. Let them go. Just dancing. Enjoying the time and the space that we have. Just dance. Everybody can dance. Settling into the comfort of the groove. Awesome. Good. And I hope you enjoyed that little dance and form of personal expression as much as I did. It's a great practice you can return to at any point. Just really trying to shake it out, really get into the depths, warm yourself up, come into a moment of stillness, and then just dance it all the way. Really powerful a technique and something we could all do on a daily basis. Dance it all out. So lovely. To finish up our practice, we will be doing a guided meditation. It is a hybrid of a brief body scan applying love to the body as we go on, so called a compass scan by me, and I will be kind of ad-libbing as we go along. So please allow some flexibility with the flow and settle yourself into a comfortable position. And take a moment to settle in. You may close your eyes or keep them slightly open, feeling the spine to lift, the shoulders to soften. Today we'll be practicing a short body scan with an infusion of loving kindness practice created by Mindful Exercises, addendum by Dan. Checking in with our bodies helps to settle our mind and notice the physiological sensations and emotions that might be present. Begin by taking a full, deep breath in and long breath out. Now bringing awareness to the top of your head, your face, your neck, and shoulders. Notice any sensations, movements, any places of holding, and extending intentions of loving kindness, of warm wishes, or simply sitting with. Good. Now moving down to the arms and the hands, extending loving kindness, warm wishes, simply observing a sensation, holdings, or tension you might be feeling. Now tuning in and sensing the back of the body, the front of the body, sensing yourself seated, feeling the contact of the body with the chair or the cushion. Feeling any sensations in any of these areas, extending loving kindness, warm wishes, or intentions, or simply observing. Now sensing your upper legs, your lower legs, your feet, noticing if there are any particular places calling attention. Places where the sensations feel most vibrant or dynamic. Tuning into any sensations we may be feeling in the body. And extending loving kindness, gentle warmth, or simple observance. Scanning to see if there are any places where there's a lack of sensation, or only a very faint sensation. Feeling into those areas for a couple moments. Now sensing the whole body breathing. One complete organism. From our head to our feet. Beautiful, expressive, amazing organisms we are. Extend love and kindness and gentleness for simple observance. When we finish with a deep breath in and long, deep breath out. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the moment to join me for this compassionately oriented body scan. I highly encourage you, if you just tuned in, to maybe check out some of the activities from earlier as well. We did shaking, then we did some stillness, and we did a little bit of dancing. Putting it all together really kind of unites us with our body, gets us into our feeling, and is able to get out some expression and perhaps some emotions that we've kind of been shielding these days, right? Perfect. And now a nice little quote. There's a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will be lost. Arthur Graham. And now for our words of parting wisdom. When the nun Chiyono studied Zen under Buko and Angu, she was unable to attain the fruits of meditation for a long time. At last, one moonlit night, she was carrying her water in an old pail, bound with bamboo. The bamboo broke and the bottom fell out of the pail, and at that moment, Chiyono was set free. In commemoration, she wrote the poem. In this way that I tried to save the old pail, since the bamboo strip was weakening and about to break, until, at last, the bottom fell out. No more water in the pail, no more moon in the water. Lovely. So thank you all for taking the time, for joining me in this mindful moment. It is an honor and pleasure to share with you all in this every single day. It's a privilege and a pleasure, and I appreciate it. Best ventures until always. Much love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.